Railways have been around since the 19th century and have connected cities together, hauling passengers and freight to this very day. Throughout railway history though, media has also been involved in many ways or another. And today we're going to see the various forms of media being used on railways. The earliest forms of railway media came in the form of posters, which were used to promote the railway's services. Whether it was a prestige express service to the scenic routes they operate through, the newer locomotives that were being offered, from supporting railways during the war years, to promote what destinations the railways would bring them to. Often or not, these posters used either Art Deco, painted portraits, simplistic designs, to other art styles used to depict trains in action or the lush scenery the railways traveled to. These have changed in style throughout the years and are still used on occasion for promoting railways, although they have been mostly phased out with virtual advertising. Books covering railways have been around mostly since the early years of railways, and often or not, dived into various aspects of railroading, whether it's a training guide for railroad workers, to an educational book for children, a locomotive spotter's guide for rail enthusiasts, or an in-depth history book about the bygone days for historians. All types of books have been printed about railways and often can be found in local libraries, yard sales, or train shows. As railways began to flourish, magazines covering the latest news in the railroad industry had popped up. Some of the earliest examples is the Railway Age, Railway Magazine, and Railway Gazette, which popped up in the late 19th century and often talked about the various news about the rail industry, whether it was an increase in traffic, the newest motive power at the time, derailments, or talk about the aspects of the bygone days. Nowadays, most of these have moved online, but magazines are still being published to this day, with some subscriptions being offered by these companies. Some notable magazine organizations of today's age include Trains Magazine, Railfan Railroad, Railway Magazine, or Model Railroader. So yeah, railway magazines are still going strong today. The first film of a train came as early as 1896. Word goes that when it was first screened, people were overwhelmed of the moving image of a real train coming towards them, that they ran to the back of the room in fear. How cute. The film is nothing spectacular, as it's just a 50-second clip of a train arriving at a station. Anyways, within the silent film era, trains made frequent appearances, sometimes being used to crash into houses, or being a part of an insane chase scene, to literally falling off a collapsing bridge. Okay. This practice to use real steam engines for crashes in films lasted until at least the 1970s, when steam locomotives were becoming priceless rather than expendable, as most countries phased out steam locomotives and were now being preserved nationwide. Nowadays, prop trains are often used for filming, as there's more creative freedom compared to the real thing. As for trains in movies, they are either the main focus, or sometimes as simple as a small background appearance, or somehow playing some sort of part in the story sometimes. The amount of movies centered around trains is rather vast, as I can go on and on about it, but we'd be here all day if we talked about that, so next topic. When TV began making appearances everywhere, railway films would be aired on occasion, but television programs about railways would come into existence. From railway history documentaries to learning about how railways function around the world, many have come and gone over the years, and rail documentaries are still popping up year after year. Some recent examples would include Rocky Mountain Railroading, Mighty Trains, and Great Railways of the World. TV programs have also catered towards other genres, from shows like Hell on Wheels to children's shows like Thomas the Tank Engine. Trains have continued to appear on family TVs to this day in one form or another. Railways had commercials made about them to promote their services to the general public. For passenger rail companies like Amtrak, they would showcase gorgeous scenery or the benefits of traveling by train as compared to driving or taking the plane, which honestly is good marketing really. Take for instance this Amtrak commercial from 1981, showcasing a businessman driving and getting stuck in traffic, while the other is riding the train and getting a relaxing and comfortable journey, without the need of driving. Nowadays, railway commercials are sort of rare nowadays, as with the advent of social media, rail companies move their advertising online. Throughout the 90s, railroad discussion boards would pop up where people across the world would talk about anything train related, like give information on oncoming trains, post their artwork, share photos, and create their own websites to share their love of trains. One of the websites to come to prominence was YouTube, and since its creation, lots of people would post their train videos on the website. From real trains to virtual trains, photo slideshows, model trains, music videos to train simulator derailments, many creators came and went over the years, and new topics of train videos came up. Thomas and Friends fan content, crash documentaries, discussion videos, history videos, and the rise of internet memes have brought content creators to the World Wide Web to this very day. Another example is the rise of train simulators, resulting in people making their own reskins or 3D models of iconic trains from the past or present. Many people just make their models for fun, while some have made money off of making good quality models that people can enjoy. The last topic for today is social media. Rail companies do have their own social media accounts, from freight and passenger companies to heritage railways, as it's a more effective way to reach out to a broader audience, as people this day and age are using these social media platforms as opposed to TV or regular advertising. Train enthusiasts also move to platforms like Twitter or Instagram to post their own catches from around the world, and millions of train pictures are up online from talented photographers to even the casual rail fans.